We're doing Candace Owens.
Vaccine mandates, and
Shut the
obviously
fuck
I know
up.
that you are pro-vaccine. Obviously, you did everything you could to get this vaccine out. I know where you stand on the vaccine.
It was one of the greatest achievements. We did it in less than 9 months,
to be able to do that.
yeah,
But now it's taken a twist, right? It's gotten, now we went from this is a good thing and people should have this option to military men, you're going to have to resign because you're not getting this vaccine. Where do you stand on that?
Well, I stand on, forget about the mandates, that people have to have their freedom, but at the same time, the vaccine is one of the greatest achievements of mankind. We would have had in 1917, remember the Spanish flu, killed perhaps 100 million people. Actually, it ended the First World War because the soldiers were so, a lot of people don't know that. The soldiers got so sick. It was a terrible thing. There were no vaccines, there was no anything. I came up with a vaccine, with 3 vaccines. All are very, very good. Came up with 3 of them in less than 9 months. It was supposed to take 5 to 12 years.
I don't know what he's doing. Like, does he not realize that this is going to make him not as favorable with his audience? Like, he has to understand that, like, this is the red line. Like, sure, Donald Trump is very good at getting people excited about dumb shit like fucking Graydon Carter, or how, like, I don't know, Variety Fair wronged them in 1998. You know, the hogs will sit there and go, hey, yeah, brother, you're right. Fuck Graydon Carter. He's a sissy. You know, and his restaurant operation failed. You're so right. Holy shit. And it's like, dude, you can't even go to the dentist. Like, there's, you know, you can't pay for insulin, and you're celebrating Donald Trump's accomplishments. Okay. But this is one area where the hogs will just be like, hold up. What did he say? Hold up.
Yo.
Is he saying that the vaccines are good? He's been compromised. Like, it's just not going to happen. Like, I don't know. It's like weird. Inside of Donald Trump, there are 2 Brunos. You know what I mean? There's the Bruno that wants to celebrate his own personal achievements of the Operation Warp Speed, which he believes is like entirely his own. Like, he fucking concocted the vaccines on his own in a laboratory. And then the other Bruno inside of Donald Trump wants constant admiration from a crowd of sycophants, you know, sycophant HVAC business owner supporters that sell jet skis, you know. He wants that. And the one Bruno that desperately wants accomplishments to be celebrated and noticed is, I guess, overriding the other Bruno. Because he's just fucking up right now. He will not get reelected if he keeps going with this, like, vaccines are actually good.
And yet more people have died under COVID this year, by the way, under Joe Biden, than under you. And more people took the vaccine this year. So people are questioning how...
Well, no, the vaccine worked, but some people aren't taking it. The ones that get very sick and go to the hospital are the ones that don't take the vaccine. But it's still their choice.
Bro, here's the thing. Okay? I mean, it's insane.
At Hasanabi,
at this point, like, we've kind of given up. But right now, 1,300 people are dying in the United States of America every day. And like 98% of them are unvaccinated. Okay. I'm sorry. Like, you're fucking gonna die. The Joe Biden administration put out that, like, somber, Dark Souls, style fucking, notification saying, like, you're gonna have a cold winter where you fucking die. And it's true.
It's a hard hat holiday.
You're gonna fucking die. Like, if you get COVID, especially if you're, like, older, especially if you're unhealthy, and let's be real, you're Amerifat, so you are definitely unhealthy. So am I, okay? We all are. Like, you've been fed a steady slop of corn in your diet since birth, and your arteries have turned into fucking butter, and you're like, nah, brother. I will not die to COVID. Only pussies die. And it's like, well, your best friend died, and, you know,
10 months
you and your best friend are nearly in identical shape. And you're going to die as well if you get COVID. No, I'm invincible, brother. Only pussies die. It's like 1,300 people are dying a day. Nearly every single one of them
16 months little man
is
put that
fucking
shit in my hand.
unvaccinated. How are you doing this to yourself? How? How are you doing this to yourself at this point? It just like doesn't make
Hasan
sense.
saved Ukraine pog.
I think he's 100% worried about his voting base dying. He wants to convince the red states to get vaxxed for him to have a shot at winning another election. No, that's not, dude. Republicans don't need a majority to win. They've never needed a majority to win. They can kill 700,000 of their supporters and still fucking win. Okay? You don't need to win by playing the game if you are playing to change the rules of the game. Okay? Like, there's no need to fucking... It's like, here, I'll give you like a basketball analogy or something, okay? You don't need to score more buckets than the other team if you're literally telling the referees, like, we can kill the other team's basketball players and, you know, or give them all technical fouls by convincing the fucking refs to just eject the entire team, okay? It was a terrible analogy, but you know what I mean. You just can't. They're changing the rules of the game
Looking
itself.
good today, King.
Anyway, let's keep going.
Choice. And if you take the vaccine, you're protected. Look, the results of the vaccine are very good. And if you do get it, it's a very minor form. People aren't dying when they take the vaccine.
What about the masking of children? That's a
XQCL.
big one
I
for
think
moms
it's a
right now.
terrible thing. I think it's a terrible thing.
That flies.
Bro, she keeps stopping him to just be like, but come on. I don't actually know what you meant. Okay. In a normal game of basketball, you win the game by outscoring
The drip
the
today
other
is
team.
absolutely off the charts, King.
But Republicans aren't playing normal basketball. They're going to the fucking refs and they're going to the commissioner of the league and saying, actually, what should matter more is some other shit. How many fouls a team gets. Okay? And then beating the shit out of the other team and getting more fouls so they can win the game. They're changing the dynamic of the game. Okay? That's the argument that I was trying to present to you in the form of an analogy. Don't give the same analogy that no one understands law. Anyway, I love how bad your analogies are. Okay, fuck you. All right, let's
In the
keep
face
going.
of science, the kids have a virtual 0% chance of dying of COVID, and yet they're insisting on these vaccine mandates. I mean, I'm sorry, on these masking
masks, yeah.
mandates, and
Oh,
now
guys.
even the vaccine mandates for small children.
Right.
And what's going on there?
I think what's happening is you look at the masks where Fauci and a lot of other people said masks don't mean anything. All of a sudden he becomes a radical masker.
Crazy.
I don't like to see the kids with the masks on. They're sitting in school. They have a hard enough time sitting in school.
Looks like China. I've been to
It's,
China.
I can
well,
finally do
and
the
yet
9-month
China's
brain rot
education
thing,
system's
yay.
a hell of a lot better than ours. You know what?
Oh my God. Wait, what? What is happening, dude? Oh, this is yet another one of those, like, Donald Trump is fucking right 100%. He's doing that thing. This is kind of how he won. Like, he would do shit like this, where he would go on Bill O'Reilly and be like, we're not so nice. You think our military is nice? We're not so nice. We got some killers. We got some killers. And then everyone was like, what the fuck? What, did he just say that out loud? Like, he's doing that. He's doing that thing again. I don't know if he knows, but he was the president for 4 years. And his education secretary was a maniac. The reason why the Chinese education system is better than the American one, I mean, there's a multitude of different reasons for it, but the main one is because, like, they do the opposite of what we do. You can't be like 1 month removed from the Chinese government straight up saying no more fucking, no more private education in the country, and just completely shutting off an entire sector of ed tech. You can't be 1 month removed from that reality to say the Chinese education system is great. That's wild. I say that all the time. But you're Donald Trump. That's very weird.
All of a sudden he becomes a radical masker. I don't like to see the kids with the masks on. They're sitting in school. They have a hard enough time sitting in school.
Looks like China. I've been to China.
Well, and yet China's education system's a hell of a lot better than ours. You know what? They're rated number 2 or 3, and we're rated number 44.
But masking children, I mean.
Oh my God. Candace Owens' brain is broken. Like, but masking children. Let's get back to the talking points. What are you saying, Mr. Trump, sir? But masking children is like, shut up, bitch. It doesn't matter. China is ruining us. They're destroying us. They're number 2. We're number 44. Who gives a fuck if the kids are wearing masks? How about the kids wear a book for once? Okay, believe me. He's about to be like, we need to abolish charter schools, and we need to also put Betsy DeVos to the guillotine. What is going on? Believe me.
Baby. 2 more to go to suppress the brain rot. Let's
What the fuck? Dude, Trump on the off season is just so good. What do you mean? I was wrong about Betsy DeVos. Betsy Davis, not good.
5 months PogChamp.
No, it's bad.
The way it looks, right? It doesn't look like a free country.
I'm against it.
We gotta watch this whole thing, dude. This is like a fucking mess. Holy shit. Full interview is now available for members. Okay, someone rip this, please. I will never give a dime to the fucking Daily Wire or the Candace Show. Someone has ripped it, right? If any of the 30K brain trust can find it, that would be awesome. The 11 Democrats who could replace Joe Biden in 2024. Oh my God. I got you, homie. My dad is at Daily Wire logging. Sag. Oh God.
Honor to interview you. It's always been an honor. I've interviewed in the past, and today I want to talk about some topics that are on, I think, everybody's mind.
Okay.
Everybody talks about January 6th. I actually want to talk about January 5th to begin. Allegedly, the story goes that a man dropped off pipe bombs at the DNC and the RNC. Our FBI has showed us a couple of stills of those individuals, and there has been nobody telling us anything beyond it. I live in DC. There's a camera on every corner.
Yep.
The Capitol
Hussein,
building, the White House, the most secure buildings possibly in the world.
Anyway, you could
We're
buy
seeing
me a
Tucker
phone for
Carlson,
Christmas.
Joe Rogan
Either
start
way,
to
have a
show
good
that the FBI had some involvement in January 6th. We're urging supporters to go.
What the fuck was this? Can someone explain to me what this was?
In the world, we're seeing Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan start to show that the FBI had.
That was awesome. That was great.
He Candace nuts.
Had some involvement in January 6th. We're urging supporters to go toward the Capitol building. What is your assessment as you're watching more and more of this information come out?
Well, I have been watching, and I've been watching it very closely, and a lot of people are being treated very unfairly. This should never happen in our country or any country, what happened to them, especially when you look at the way the so-called other side.
Guys, you guys all think this is a brilliant way they're doing this because they want to like avoid copyright? No, it's because he fucking screen recorded this on his like Android or some shit, and he flipped the camera, okay, on accident. He flipped the mobile.
8 months, baby. Let's go. Love you, chat hassle.
The whatever the fucking thing he's using to screen record this.
Is treated, but this pipe bomber or bomber, who knows if it was a pipe? Who knows what it was? They never found him. I've seen pictures of him and very clear pictures. And you know that they do have cameras, not just a camera, they have many cameras on every corner. And I would imagine they probably know who he was. And I guarantee he wasn't one of.
And that man, Barack Obama. That's right. I'll say it, folks. Barack Hussein Obama. He's very jealous. He was so jealous of how
than three
thick my
happy
dumper
holidays.
is. He kept saying, "Believe me, I'm coming back," and he did. He did, folks. He came back.
Of the people that were at that protest for the right reason. It was a protest. You know, the insurrection was November 3rd, the election day. This
I
was a
gotta pee, I'll be
protest
back.
about a rigged election. And the people that were there was great love in the air. I'm not talking about the Capitol, I'm talking about the speech. I think it was the largest crowd I've ever spoken before, and I've spoken to very big crowds. And some walked down, I think it was intended to be very peaceful, to the Capitol. But why aren't they finding this pipe bomber? And how come other people haven't been revealed? Because I think that we're more than just, let's call them MAGA people.
Well, there were FBI informants.
Well,
There's some images,
yeah.
and they said, go to the Capitol, go to the Capitol, and
Right.
those individuals were not arrested, and they're
Right.
on the
Just
screen.
got my
Right, it
hoodie.
seems.
This
It
shit is
seems
on
like
point
that.
and fits perfect.
You have BLM and you had Antifa people. I have very little doubt about that. And they were antagonizing and they were agitating. And you don't see any of that. But look at it even from a simpler form. In Portland, what happened to these people? They burned down the city.
2
They've
hours
destroyed the city.
nicotine-free,
Nobody
let's
can live
go.
there anymore. They don't even put up storefronts. They don't even rebuild. You know what they rebuild now? Out of plywood. Because they're not going to waste, because every time they put up a store, it gets knocked down. But people are being killed in places. You look at Seattle. You look at in Minnesota, Minneapolis. You take a look at the city.
At
If I
Hasanabi
didn't
was
send
up,
in the
I love you,
National
bro.
Guard, you wouldn't have a Minneapolis right now.
Right,
And
and that's
people were
true.
killed.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, the entire cities have been reduced to rubble. Portland, nobody lives there anymore. Believe me, everyone is dead. It's white genocide, real white genocide. Portland, very white. They're all Antifa, but they're still white. And now everyone's gone. Everyone, bye-bye. They all died. All my chatters in Portland, what's up? How does it feel to be dead? Literally, nobody lives there anymore. Does that feel good?
There does seem to be this double standard, and especially as I lived in D.C. during this, and I was sort of shocked to see, first off, our city burned for 6 weeks because
Yeah,
of George
yeah.
Floyd protests. Nobody ever called that an insurrection. But I'm particularly interested in this department.
That's literally a lie. What the fuck? Everyone,
Almost a year. Chat
people said it was a
Hassel.
riot. People said it was the worst riot that ever happened in America. What do you mean nobody called that an insurrection? Yeah, it wasn't directed towards the American government, but like everybody, you called it a riot. You said, you just did. You just literally said
Pog
cities
Trump
were burned down.
2024. Hell yeah, brother. Trump is based Pog.
It's so weird. Like if you ask any Republican, including this dumbass herself, they literally made it seem as though entire city blocks were wiped off the planet as a consequence of the protests. That they only called a riot. Very strange.
Department of Justice piece, because we then found out also a few months earlier, we were told that MAGA supporters tried to kill Gretchen Whitmer. And actually, BuzzFeed, very left-leaning publication, came out and said, no, actually, this was FBI entrapment. FBI plotted this. They looped in MAGA supporters, and they then said MAGA supporters plotted this. So there's a lot of question marks right now, I think, for people involved on both sides of the spectrum. You know, how involved is our Department of Justice in these events that they tell us are acts of domestic terrorism? And in a Trump 2024 scenario, how do you address that as the President of the United States?
So I watched that a little bit, and I said, that's
Guys, Candace Owens once said, okay, Candace Owens once said that
The
Jeff
Rock for Press
Bezos is a
#Rock
socialist.
2024.
Okay? I want you to understand that the person that Donald Trump is currently talking to literally said Jeff Bezos is a socialist. Okay? So,
Let's go.
like, don't expect a lot from her. Just let this happen. Okay, let it happen. Just listen to what she has to say. But just remind yourself consistently that, like, it's just for entertainment. Like, she has nothing going on in there. It's just talking points.
It's a strange deal going on with the kidnapping of the governor. And it's got some weird answers coming out. So I assume we're going to find out at least something about what happened. Right. You know, it all started when I said, somebody's spying on my campaign. Do you remember that? I put it out very innocently. And I actually said, I think that Obama is spying on my campaign. I turned out to be right. That was right. And then we've caught him. And now let's see what happens with all of these people that got caught, whether it's Durham and what happened and what came out of there so far. Hopefully that's just very preliminary. But even if you take a look preliminarily, that's a terrible thing that happened. They made up Russia. It was all a hoax. Think of it. They're after people to put them in jail, and yet they know they made up a hoax. So they want to put people in jail for a hoax that they made up.
But here's the thing, our Department of Justice is implicit in all this, right? The FISA warrant, like that is not a warrant that should have ever been granted. So this is why I'm hitting at this, because we're recognizing now that the corruption that we're talking about, maybe we thought it was surface when you got elected. Now we're realizing that it runs much deeper.
Deep-seated.
And much worse than we ever thought it was. And how do we get the Americans to feel that faith has been restored in these institutions under your leadership?
Well, when you look at things, how about the fourth man in the Department of Justice? His wife is working for Fusion GPS, writing bad stuff. And you say, what's going on there? So many different things. And it is.
Oh, Candace Owens is saying, during an interview with Candace Owens this week, Donald Trump actually pushed back on anti-vaccine talking points and encouraged viewers to get shots. Yes, you read that correctly. What? Lol, this is such a dishonest headline. Trump did not push back against anything I said. We agree that vaccine mandates and masking children are wrong. He simply expressed that he believes vaccines work and people should get them. Starting to believe that Trump is controlled opposition, DeSantis 2024. Oh my God. Millionaire by 23, Jesus is king. It took you this long to find out, says Chataban, Sharia law enjoyer.
Our baskets are worth 2 points and the
Never claimed to be an Al-Qaeda supporter, but I absolutely do support Sharia law. It's far superior to the degeneracy that comes with liberalism. Dude, there's so many different kinds of new people in here. I love this. Pure degeneracy comes from theocratic monarchs. Liberalism is the most based ideology in the history of mankind. Ugh. Freedom is based. Freedom of religion and fourth religion is based. Stay mad, authoritarian. Liberalism is the reason why crime, depression, alcoholism, drug abuse, suicide, and the breakdown of the family structure are skyrocketing in the West. Oh my God, dude. What is happening right now? This is incredible. Hold up, dude. Hold the fuck up, dude. What is... So people are... This is... At least this is unique. You know, you have to admit that this is very, very unique. I mean, my man just came out of nowhere like this. Like, liberalism is the reason why crime, depression, alcoholism, drug abuse, suicide, and the breakdown of the family structure are skyrocketing in the West. Freedom to sin is hedonism and destructive to society. Freedom from sin is based and winning. Remind me, who won in Afghanistan? And then this fucking pussy says crime, depression, alcoholism, drug abuse, and suicide are still prevalent in religious societies too, buddy. The freedom to sin does not make sin moral at all. And I'm the only reason the Taliban won in Afghanistan is because we had no backbone to remain. Chataban responds, Lama, cope harder, my friend. The Taliban won because Afghan people experienced firsthand the degeneracy that comes with a Western liberal democracy for 20 years. And they chose Sharia law at the end. Even your own liberal posters show that Afghans are overwhelmingly pro-Sharia. Sharia! You completely sidestepping my argument, which was about the military explanation as to how the United States lost. I won't deny the primitive state of Afghanistan. Oh, and then, yeah, he just hits the fucking surprised to see that drunk Pepe underscore AFC, a footy Arsenal fan, a gooner, who is for social democracy and liberalism, is just straight up a fucking piece of shit. I love these dumbasses. Some of those dumbasses are literally in here right now, by the way, that think that they're like social democrats, and they are just straight up conservative. They're like mega conservative. You're just not even a social democrat, okay? You're just a conservative. But nothing matters. These words don't matter. These terms don't matter. Everyone has made up their own definition of what like neoliberal is. Everyone's made their own definition of what sock them is. And there are some idiotic political commentators out there that make it seem like sock them is something entirely different than what it actually is.
Can these nuts be verified by the FBI?
Sharia law is conservatism, isn't it? Yes, of course. Sharia law is like religious doctrine, or a bastardized version of religious doctrine being used as like a form of law. There's like different rules. It's really fucking, it is really, really antiquated, stupid, idiotic. And some historians believe that the only reason why Sharia law ever held root or took root in many regions in MENA, many countries in many MENA countries, was a consequence of colonialism and centralization. Like Afghanistan is a great example of this, because like Sharia law in and of itself was supposed to be localized in like super fucking rural areas. And it was never supposed to be like a centralized system of rules and governance. But only in the aftermath of colonization, the centralization that came as a consequence of that made Sharia law become the rule of the land in so many of these other places. Sharia law is a resistance to colonial logic, the resistance based on Islam. Kind of. Oh. One tiny fucking thing on my... Not even... Afghanistan is not in MENA, but you know what I mean. Like Gulf states, MENA, Asia, like, shut up.
Happy holidays.
It is. It's very deep. You know, they say deep state. I don't want to call it any specific name, because when you say deep state, they say you're a
conspiracy theorist. Yeah.
Conspiracy theorist. And I say, well, that's a little bit too bad. No, you have many, many things. And this is years and years of people being embedded through different presidents. Clinton, Bush. Look, you say some of these people from the Bush administration are almost worse than Democrats. I don't know if you know that, but I think you do.
I do.
Some of them, and you least suspect it. So in a way, you don't have your guard up quite as much. But we have some real bad people. We also have some very good people, in all fairness. We have some great people that hate what's going on, and they do things about what's going on. But I will say this. We were cleaning things up, and we were cleaning them up at a rapid pace. And then an election took place where we were leading at 10 o'clock in the evening. I thought it was over. Everyone thought it was over. I got a call from Karl Rove. I'm not a big fan of his. He said, congratulations, sir. About 9:30 in the evening. Congratulations, sir. You've just won. I said, thank you very much, Karl. That's very nice. And then they closed various
why would he say that?
Counting facilities, to put it nicely, right? Where they say, you know, you ever hear the expression, sometimes the counter is more important than the candidate, right? And sometimes a lot more important than the candidate. But they closed, and then all of a sudden...
By the way, I don't believe that. I don't believe Karl Rove called him and said, congratulations, sir, you won, okay? Wasn't Karl Rove quite literally on Fox News screaming about how bad Donald Trump is? Like, in the same timeline that he is, he's saying this at? Like, did we not watch Karl Rove fucking talk about what was going on January 6th? Also, what did he win? What did he win in his mind, dude? This is crazy.
Hasseltine.
You see numbers
Hassel.
coming in. They say that's a strange thing.
Oh,
So
listen, I
that
was there that
happened.
night, and I remember feeling
was a
exactly that
terrible
way.
night.
Went to sleep, said this
Oh, it was-
election's over,
it was
woke up,
over,
and
yeah.
some magic happened. I guess some wizardry happened in the middle of the night, and I agree with you on that. And which is why I want to talk about this entire ecosystem of corruption.
be
By the way,
glad
excuse
you're
me,
back,
you look at
Hassel.
Pennsylvania that night, it was like the lead was impossible. You couldn't
Wouldn't
beat that
call
lead.
Florida.
And all of a sudden, they wouldn't call Florida, and I had a big lead. They wouldn't call Florida. They wouldn't call a lot of different states. And then they called Arizona early. And now you see what's been found in Arizona, the corruption.
Easy.
Nothing. Like literally nothing. That's the funniest part about this entire process is that, like, once again, even when Donald Trump won the election, he put a commission together because he couldn't fathom the reality that Hillary Clinton, who's like the least likable person on the planet, got more votes in the popular vote, which is why he like put an investigative committee together, just as George Bush had done in the past, to figure out if there was voter fraud happening. And he ended that committee quietly, that commission, when the commission didn't come up with results that he wanted to see. Because voter fraud is not happening. Okay, it's like so marginal and insignificant, and oftentimes bipartisan. But the guy who literally fucking wanted to investigate an election he won was, of course, going to lie and say he never lost the election that he actually lost.
It was unbelievable. You look at the findings in the report, and other things will come out. It was a really, all of my life I said, oh, this is the home of the free. This is great elections, free and fair elections. So we learned a couple of things over the last number of years. Number one, the press is among the most dishonest group of people ever, anywhere, no matter what. They're corrupt. And number two, we have corrupt elections. And we've got to straighten out the elections. And you're only going to straighten out the press if you allow people to sue with a meaningful law. So if they write libelous and terrible things, they don't want that to happen. They don't want that because they want to do it the way they're doing it.
New York Times versus Sullivan should be reversed.
It should be reversed.
Absolutely.
And I think Justice Thomas.
Dude, what the fuck? Yo, he's just straight up saying, like, fuck freedom of speech and freedom of press. You should be able to whip the press into submission when you don't like what they're saying about you. I mean, I don't like the media either, obviously. But, like, that's crazy. How can you on the one hand be like, free speech is under attack, and then simultaneously say, also, we should have no free speech? Like, we should actually, at the government level, not at like the level of private enterprise dictating what you can and can't say on websites, but like straight up at the government level, destroy freedom of the press.
Is saying, like, I think it should be reversed, or he made a statement to that effect. But if they write something totally...
Do you think the American free press is worse or better than something like Chinese media? No, of course it's better than fucking Chinese media. Are you insane? It's like, guys, like, being hypercritical of the world's largest imperial power and all of its like endless disaster that it causes around the planet is one thing. But like, just, think about it a little bit. You're currently watching a socialist Twitch streamer who is one of the largest fucking content creators on this platform, okay, who very openly says some of the most horrific shit about our elected representatives. Like, please, not to get too Turkish with you for a second, but like, that's not a thing that happens anywhere else, okay? That only in like America and in Western nations can you do that, for the most part. That's not happening in Turkey, and it's certainly not happening in China, okay? When was the last time you got your ego checked? I just came back from a fucking 7-day ban, dude. What do you mean? It's not ego when I say that, yes, there is a level of freedom afforded in the political realm in the United States of America that is not afforded to other to political commentators or people engaging in political commentary in all these other countries. It's not ego for me to say, like, I'm one of the biggest Twitch streamers as a political commentator who talks a lot of shit about our and you acting like an ego Andy already? No, I'm not. Anyway.
Malicious, libelous, whatever you want to call it. Your lawyers will tell you don't bother suing because you can't sue.
Because you're a
If
public
you want to
figure.
straighten out the press, give us the right to sue. Give people the right to sue the press where it's meaningful, where they have to pay a big penalty when they get caught, because they're caught
Really
all the
missed you.
time.
So
You have to
glad
be
you
able
are
to do
back.
something
I
about it.
agree.
Says a
I
boomer.
agree. And I want to ask you, in terms of talking about this corruption, by the way, a name that comes to mind in the news recently is Julian.
Call for the violent overthrow of the U.S. government. See what happens, Hasan. It's so idiotic. Obviously, there's fucking limitations to free speech, and also, like, there's a difference between being having the freedom to be able to say Donald Trump wears a diaper, okay? Most definitely wears a diaper and not going to jail for it, and calling for the violent overthrow of the U.S. government, okay?
Love you.
That's so insane. Like, you can't even say Erdogan has a dirty diaper in Turkey. You will go to fucking jail. That's the point I'm trying to make here. And you can still absolutely engage in
Thanks for
agitative
taking my money.
propaganda.
I
You
listen
can
to you
engage
while at work,
in,
smartass.
you know, you can even be on fucking Twitch and talk against Amazon, which I will in a second, specifically the Bessemer, Alabama distribution facility, where 2 of the Amazon workers literally fucking died recently, while still being on an Amazon-owned platform. Because, and I gotta say this, I'm not a dangist, but one thing that Dang understood was, you know, and Lennon also said many a time, or at least it was attributed to him, perhaps falsely, is that they will sell us the last rope on which we hang them on. I think I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but like, people don't give a shit. Like, capitalists only care about making money, even if it threatens their own power in some degree. But also, I don't really threaten power. Let's be fucking real. You know, I'm a good boy. I follow my contract. I give you ads at the top of the hour. Every hour. All over the world, wherever there are capitalists, freedom of the press means freedom to buy up newspapers, to buy writers, to bribe, buy, and fake public opinion for the benefit of the bourgeoisie. Yeah, I mean, that's true. And it does happen. But, you know. Yeah, so I'm a good company man. So at the top of the hour, I run a fucking ad break. And it's 60 seconds long. But then I tell you, if you no longer want to see those ad breaks, all you need to do is subscribe. You can do that for $5. You can do that for free with a Twitch Prime. You can do that
14
by
months
receiving a fucking gifted sub if you're lucky. Don't think that that's going to happen, though. So you make your own luck. And use your Twitch Primes here, if you have one. Here's the 1 minute ad break now.
Julian Assange, you know, he
Believe
was
was
exposing this
impossible.
corruption early on. He's had his life
Bro, his government literally continued and also expanded on the prosecution of Julian Assange. Like, they literally went beyond what even the Obama administration, which was like really horrific, obviously, towards whistleblowers. But like, the Trump administration went to a place where the Obama administration did not even dare to go, which was trying Julian Assange under the Espionage Act. They recognized, and this is not just my take, this is also what's his face's take as well from The Intercept, not Glenn Greenwald. If you think that I'm like a CIA Andy or whatever, not Ryan Grimm. No. Oh my God, what the fuck's wrong with my brain? Not Lee Fong either. No, the other main dude on The Intercept, Jeremy Scahill. Thank you, chatters. Jeremy Scahill's take on this as well is the same, which is that the Obama administration did not want to go as far as pursuing Julian Assange under the Espionage Act, which the Trump administration absolutely went that far, and decided to hell with the precedent that it sets. We don't mind destroying. We don't mind destroying publishers like this. Okay, so for him to talk about Julian Assange in this way is kind of weird.
Life ruined because of it. It's a really sad story. Edward Snowden. I mean, think about that bravery. For me, I was quite young when that was going on. But I mean, the idea of saying, hey, whistleblowing, actually, we've got some corruption going on. They're not being honest with the American people. You could have had a chance to pardon these individuals. Why decide not to in that moment?
You have two sides of it. In one case, you have like sort of a spy deal going on, and in another case, you have somebody that's exposing real corruption.
Right.
I feel a little bit, I won't say which one, but I feel a little.
I wonder if this guy who said, imagine defending monkeys burning down cities, you fucking towelhead, will get permanently banned from the platform. You know, in a similar capacity to how many fucking chatters have been banned for saying cracker, including chatters who weren't even using cracker against like white people, but just like some people I've seen that have gotten banned for fucking saying cracker, like, and the mods misunderstood. I mean, we banned him from this. We banned him from this page, but I wonder how quickly this guy will get clapped in a similar capacity. Who knows? By the way, Twitch, like, for the record, for those of you watching, if the Twitch admins and mods are watching, like, this, we deal with this on a daily basis. Some of my mods that you fucking clapped for saying cracker deal with this shit on a daily basis. It's just a regular occurrence. I personally don't care, you know, because I am fucking white in the end, and so it doesn't impact me personally, but I totally understand why people of color would absolutely see this as a less safe space overall. My man's got a TTV handle and everything too. Idiot probably thought he was on a stock account.
A little bit more strongly about one than the other.
Right.
And you probably understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But I could have done it, but I will say you have people on both sides of that issue, good people on both sides, and you have some bad people on one side. But I decided to let that one ride, let the courts work it out.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the courts are actually doing that.
Yeah, these are big decisions.
Yeah. In a certain way, you know, you have a country and there was some spying things and there were some bad things released that really set.
You don't think things affect you just because you are not the same race as them? First of all, I am white. I'm very privileged. So that I am seen as like the default character in most situations as a cishet white dude. Or white passive, if you want to say that. So, yeah. I'm pasty as fuck. So no, it doesn't harm me in any way because it's not associated to any like historic or ongoing oppression. That's the point. At that point, it's just like you're being mean. And that's it. And if you're crying about it, then you're a giant pussy. Incredibly frail, incredibly fragile human being.
Set us back and really hurt us with what they did. You understand that. But at the same time, in many cases, what they did, these are the same people that came after me so viciously and dishonestly. Yeah. So, you know.
That's why I thought, hey.
So I say, come on,
if I'm in your circumstance, I'm going, you know what?
Yeah, well, you can I could have gone, I was very close to going the other way.
Yeah, I think you were too nice.
I might have been too nice.
Might have been a little too nice.
I've been known for being very nice.
Yeah. And loyal, nice and loyal to people that have not always been loyal to you.
Very loyal. Most have. You know, we don't read about them. We had a great administration, but I put some people in that didn't do the job. They just didn't do it. And I guess maybe on purpose they didn't do it. You know, it's one of those things. You put people in. Now I know everybody in Washington. I know the good. I know the bad. I know the ugly. But I had some people that I wouldn't have put in retrospect, but I had mostly great.
Some guy in LSF was saying, first of all, some guy in LSF was saying, using Hasan's argument of historical weight, I can call him a roach because I'm Croatian and Turkey oppressed us. Yeah, that's a immediate self-report that you're coming directly from Pole. But also, imagine getting fucking oppressed by roaches, dude. That's a self-own more than anything else. I mean, I just wouldn't do that if I were you. I wouldn't be like, man, these Turk roaches. Okay, well they fucking owned you. So what's up? You think that's okay? Like you're just admitting that you're worse than that? That's crazy. Holy shit, dude. It's wild.
Great people. We had great people.
What
We
does
did a
that
lot.
make
We
you
rebuilt
then?
The military, largest tax cuts in history, largest regulation cuts in history, regulatory cuts. We did a lot of things.
And you
but
did it with under fire.
I did it.
At
You
all
know,
times.
it's funny, and I've been using this expression a little bit lately. I said, I had two jobs: to run the country and to survive, because I was under fire. No prep. From the day I came down the escalator with our first lady, I came down that escalator and I was under investigation. From the day I came, never in my life was I had every single aspect, everything I ever did for years. A friend of mine said, you have to be the most honest person in the world to have survived that. If they catch a comma, if they catch a misspelling word, they'll give you things, and they don't do it with the other side. They do that with Republicans, but me was the ultimate example. So number one, I wanted to run the country properly, and we did. You didn't see Taiwan, you didn't see Ukraine, you didn't see all of these problems that are happening. That is so embarrassing. The pullout of Afghanistan was the worst event. By the way, I was all for getting out. I'm the one that brought it down to 2,500.
Bro, it's so awesome. It's so awesome where you simultaneously have to take credit for being anti-war, but then also have to shit on the exact same strategy followed through by the next administration. It's dope. Everything he said, I forgot about how much he contradicts himself on a regular basis in like every fucking what? You're right, but that has some bad connotations for the Cuban Gusano argument. Wait, what? No, it doesn't. People, what are you talking about? Cuban people that live in Cuba that consider counter-revolutionary anti-Cuba Cubans, Gusanos, or worms also are the ones who fucking owned them. So it's not like, the fuck do you mean? There's no bad connotation for that. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, we gotta stop. Oh God, I gotta stop reading the chat. Everyone is like really desperate to get my attention right now. Just fucking spilled off. Holy shit. Spilled all over myself. Move on from the. Just move on from this guy just trying to bait you. Yeah, I know. Okay, let's keep going.
100 soldiers, actually 2,000 soldiers, and they would never have even touched us.
But I think the frustration on the Republican side, and this is why I said I want to talk a lot about Republican frustrations, is that we see the corruption, right? Yeah. It doesn't seem like anybody ever pays for the corruption. Yeah. And right now we're seeing corruption live, even in terms of big pharma, which is a huge topic on the minds of mothers especially. You're seeing what's happening at these school board meetings. Where do you stand?
By the way, speaking of big pharma, didn't Pfizer like finally come out with a fucking pill that as of today the FDA has given an emergency use authorization as of like last night or today to a pill that is a COVID recovery pill. So, you know, there's going to be an expensive Pfizer pill that you can fucking take if you're so adamant about, you know, getting owned by COVID. Like definitely getting COVID. If you want that, then, you know, turns out you can just, there's another pill. I wonder if they're going to be against that too. There's a Merck pill as well. I hope that, wait, what? Dude. I already ran the top of the hour ad break. Okay. Chatter who said, I can't believe you pandered to Candace Owens, but not to Thab. the top of the hour ad break, which is funny. A very funny way to try to get me on that. We're taking on Turkey, enslaving Serbia, Croatia, and other Balkan countries is very bad. What is my take on it? I don't think it's good that happened, but if you're gonna say that like someone is a cockroach because you were oppressed or enslaved by the Turks, I'm trying to explain to you why that doesn't matter. You know what I mean? You said we got wrecked? Yeah. If you're saying like, oh, you fucking owned me, you destroyed my country, you cockroach, I can call you a cockroach. I'm explaining to you why that is still insignificant because of the historical oppression, which I recognize. What do you want me to do? I feel like, dude, it's so funny. These motherfuckers straight up want me to be like upset and offended that they're calling me a cockroach or a Turk roach. And then when I say, why would I be offended? Because the historical context isn't there. Like you're just, you know, getting angry from a place of holding an L. And then you fucking lose your mind over it. Like, what would it have been better if I got angry or something and been like, oh man, I'm so offended you called me a Turk roach? Is that my man just got upset that I was consistent in my position that like it straight up doesn't fucking matter. You sound like Bruno about the N-word? No, dude, there's a difference. That's the point. The difference is, yes, if you are the oppressor, if you are the imperial power, then yes, of course, it doesn't fucking matter what the oppressed people have decided to call you. Okay? Because there is no actual oppression tied to that word. That's the point. God damn. Do not Balkan post. Yeah, you're right.
Stand on these vaccine mandates, and obviously I know that you are pro-vaccine. Obviously, you did everything you could to get this vaccine out. I know where you stand on the vaccine.
It was one of the greatest achievements. We did it in less than 9 months, and
to be able to do that.
Yeah,
but now it's taken a twist, right? It's gotten, now we went from this is a good thing and people should have this option to military men, you're going to have to resign because you're not getting this vaccine. Where do you stand on that?
Well, I stand on forget about the mandates. That people have to have their freedom, but at the same time, the vaccine is one of the greatest achievements of mankind. We would have had in 1917, remember the Spanish flu, killed perhaps 100 million people. Actually, it ended the First World War because the soldiers were so, a lot of people don't know that. The soldiers got so sick. It was a terrible thing. There were no vaccines. There was no anything. I came up with a vaccine, with 3 vaccines. All are very, very good. Came up with 3 of them in less than 9 months. It was supposed to take 5 to 12 years.
And yet more people have died under COVID this year, by the way, under Joe Biden, than under you. And more people took the vaccine this year. So people are...
This is the best part of the interview where she's still trying to keep it on the rail. Okay, but it's going off the rails. Because like Donald Trump is saying shit that she did not think he was going to say. Right? And she's just like, but like more people have died under Joe Biden? Yeah. Who? Who's dying under Joe Biden? First of all, that is absolutely institutional failure. The fact that 57% of COVID fatalities that have occurred under the Biden administration in a post-vaccine world is psychotic. Okay? It is insane. It's a complete catastrophic institutionalized failure. Okay? That's true. That's Biden's America. Except everyone that's dying is an anti-vaxxer. Like pretty much every single motherfucker who's died is unvaccinated. Now the failure of the government in that situation is that is the reality that they're not taking swift and decisive and yes, authoritarian action for the public good. Okay? But if the Biden administration operated in the way that I want them to operate, okay, and forcibly inoculated every fucking red state resident who's like terrified of getting a vaccine, then these guys would be losing their minds. They'd probably fucking rise up against the government with arms. The failure of the Biden administration is because they were not authoritarian enough. They were behaving in the very, they were behaving in a very like liberal and very fucking, Republican approved way. What do you mean inoculated? Just like mass vaccination campaigns, mass inoculation. Forcing inoculations, as much as I'd love that, creates a dangerous precedent, though. Oh, yeah? Has it? Because we have done it in the past. So maybe, learn about America's history a little bit before you fucking say, oh, it's a very dangerous precedent. The reason why we don't have fucking smallpox outbreaks in the same capacity is because they fucking literally would go in, cops would go into fucking people's houses and sit them down, handcuff them, and inoculate them. Okay? So, no, there wasn't a dangerous precedent. I wish we had set that dangerous fucking precedent so we could have literally, not have this issue at this moment. A government is supposed to operate in a way where it protects the safety of Lamau, nice fascism moron. You are currently talking about the United States of America as a fascist state. I'm describing to you what the United States of American government has done in the past. Okay? Forcible inoculations have occurred in the past during smallpox outbreaks. Okay? So if you're considering America fascist for that reason and not fascist for, I don't know, white supremacy, institutionalized racism, slavery, really, really holding back on abolishing it and fighting to death before you abolish it and then deciding maybe 100 more years is necessary for codified institutionalized racism in the form of the Jim Crow laws, redlining, and its contemporary effects, the American criminal justice system. And also, this is before we get to, that's just domestic policy. This is before we get to foreign policy in the form of imperialism, death, destruction, 300 plus military bases all around the fucking planet, running a fucking protection racket, basically like the mafia, all around the world, while we just keep pumping them full of fucking guns that we sell, small arms, and also rockets and shit that we sell to all these other countries so that our military industrial complex can make money. If that's not fascism, okay? Whipping migrants at the fucking border, using a COVID era, Trump era COVID CDC regulation called Title 42 to deny asylum seekers their legal right, their moral and legal right to fucking seek asylum on U.S. on U.S. soil. That's not fascism. Fascism is when you forcibly fucking give someone a life-saving vaccine so they don't die alone, desperate, crying with a fucking vent shoved down their gullet. I'm sorry. Some of these motherfuckers deserve what is coming to them, which is precisely why when I see the Joe Biden administration say that a cold winter is coming for you, I don't bat an eye. I mean, it's just like they have failed, okay? And they're admitting that they have failed, but like you kind of do deserve what's coming for you. Like you really do. Because you think mass inoculations are fascism. You don't think 700, 800,000, 900,000 people that have died as a consequence of like getting COVID, a preventable fucking situation. That's not anything bad. It's actually preventing them from dying. I'm American, damn it. I can die if I want to. That's basically what you're saying. Fascism is when people don't, fascism is when people don't die to preventable illnesses and diseases. Anyway. Don't slide off that fucking slippery slope, my friend, but we have done this in the past. So this hoodie is comfy as fuck, by the way. Hell yeah, let's go. All right, let's continue. But as I was saying, I mean, fuck the idiotic like fascism argument, all this shit. But ultimately, the Biden administration has failed. It is ridiculous that we have vaccines and more people are fucking dying. 1,300 people are dying on average a day in America right now. We don't even talk about it. We've like completely fucking forgotten that that is a thing that is going on. When 1,000 people were dying under the Trump administration, we were losing our fucking minds, understandably so. That's 1,000 people dying a day. That's a whole ass 9/11 every 3 days, dude. That's crazy. And we're back to that. And guess what? All those motherfuckers that are dying, nearly every single one of them are not vaccinated. It's bananas that people are just like, no, it's my right to fucking kill myself and others around me. So I say, fuck them. Sorry. If you want to die that fucking badly, go ahead, dude. Go the fuck ahead, baby. Go off, kings and queens. You know? I don't know what to say. But then, when I make fun of that, then it's like, whoa, you're such a bad person, dude. You're such a bad fucking person. Well, you wanted to die. I'm giving you what you want. What do you mean? You know, you watched my brother's video the other day about quitting his ICU nursing job, and it's crazy how many people have reached out to him because they did the same thing. Yeah. It's we did. We watched Andrew, friend of the show, Intelligent. I don't know if he's in here right now, but talking about how many like nurses are just fucking exhausted and fucking killing themselves over this crazy shit. Wild to me that people just like straight up want to die, but when you point it out and you say, go ahead, okay, go ahead, you can kill yourself then, fuck it, you know, whatever, then it's like, whoa, how dare you do that, how dare you fucking say that. Well, it's like, but that's what you wanted. What do you want me to do? You don't want me to help you. Anyway, let's keep going.
Questioning how.
Well, no, the vaccine worked, but
Yeah.
some people aren't taking it. The ones that get very sick and go to the hospital are the ones that don't take the vaccine. But it's still their choice. And if you take the vaccine, you're protected. Look, the results of the vaccine are very good. And if you do get it, it's a very minor form. People aren't dying when they take the vaccine.
What about the masking of children? That's a big one
I
for
think
moms.
It's like, let's move on from this fucking people aren't dying because they take the vaccine argument. Trump, I don't like what you're saying here. What about something else? Let's talk about something else. Stop saying that.
It's a terrible thing. I think it's a terrible thing.
That flies in the face of science. The kids have a virtual 0% chance of dying of COVID, and yet they're insisting on these vaccine mandates. On these masking mandates, and now even the vaccine mandates for small children. And what's going on there?
I think what's happening is you look at the masks where Fauci and a lot of other people said masks don't mean anything. All of a sudden he becomes a radical masker.
Crazy.
I don't like to see the kids with the masks on. They're sitting in school. They have a hard enough time sitting in school.
Looks like China. I've been to China.
And yet China's education system's a hell of a lot better than ours. You know what? They're rated number 2 or 3, and we're rated number 44.
But masking children,
No, it's bad.
The way it looks.
I love this take, bro. I mean, he's right. It's so crazy. Bro, why are so many fucking miskids so reactionary? It's weird. Sorry, I can't stop. It's like, I just keep seeing them fucking reply to some of you guys in my community, and it's like, every time I click on their profile, they like retweeted Miskiv. What happened? I thought Miskiv was like picking up all the Minecrafters, but there's so many fucking weirdos. Like, every time I see like one of these edge cases, first of all, I gotta point something out. Miskiv, probably not a fan of the type of shit that you're saying on the timeline. Okay, I'm just gonna point that out to you, Megasoys. And they like find, you know, weird like edge replies that they reply to. Like when I'm talking to Kevin Abstract, I said, when are you coming on the broadcast, Kevin? And then this motherfucker will be like, broadcast is mostly just Hasan whining he can't use racial slurs for the past 2 weeks. Hasan Fox is the action. So show is neurodivergent in action. Give us that communist millionaire money. Woo. You mean the old Karl Marx talking point? Communism equals no millionaires? Lemafal. This is what happens when kids are indoctrinated by a nut job. This is what happens when a kid is when a millionaire teaches communism to his neurodivergent fan base. He just keeps using neurodivergent. Bro, you're like a Miskiff fan. Why are you fucking making fun of people who are neurodivergent? Like, I just don't understand. So strange. What a strange fucking take from this guy. And then boom, I click on his profile and it's like retweeted fucking Miskiff. What are you doing? You're looking bad. You're looking like a bad person. Those kids are either 14 or was 14 in 2009 and stuck there mentally and parroting that dumbass dad wearing too tight Under Armour fitted hat. Yeah, that's what happens when you can't, you know, enough brain juices aren't flowing. Is neurodivergent the politically correct way of saying the R word? Yes, 100%. All right, let's keep going.
Right? It doesn't look like a free country.
I'm against it.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah,
I'm really glad to hear that. And I think that your supporters will be really glad to hear that because no one really kind of got a clear understanding of, hey,
I think
vaccine's great, but you know, people should have a right to
I'm
choose.
so proud of what we did with the vaccine, but it shouldn't be mandated, and it just shouldn't be. And you know, the other thing is, a lot of people that get it, you had it. Did you get COVID?
No.
You didn't get it?
It doesn't like me.
Did you have the vaccine?
No. It doesn't
No.
like me.
That's a lie. She went to Madison Square Garden, no? Didn't she actually get vaccinated? She's like straight lying right now, isn't she? Probably got a fake card. It's literally a fucking felony or something. I think a lot more EU Andes are staying up to hate watch you after the C word incident. Bro, if you're from the EU, the word cracker is not your business. See yourself out of NA business, okay? You have your own version of like racism to fucking deal with, okay? Like where, you know, you have like weird ethnic slurs that we don't even know about. Just worry about that shit. Okay? Worry about that shit. You got healthcare. Shut the fuck up. Like, that's the weirdest thing. Whenever like EU motherfuckers are like, I am actually very offended by the word cracker. It's like, bro, what do you mean? This is like not your thing. Okay? Just see yourself out of NA people business. Lied to her Lord and Savior. She's going to hell. Bro, Candace Owens is definitely going to hell. Okay? If there is a hell, Candace Owens 100% is going there. Okay? Wait, Ben Garrison? Oh my God, Ben Garrison's turning on Trump? They're booing him. Oh no. Oh no, Ben Garrison turned on Trump? He's not even, I mean, he's still drawing him kind of sexy. That relationship could be salvaged. Bro, it's over. DeSantis 2024, baby. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the fucking writing on the wall, dude. That was a great impression, but a terrible take. Shut up, EU Andy. See yourself out of NA business, okay? The term cracker or the white-black dynamic, while it still certainly exists in the EU as well, is like a very American conversation, okay? It's a very NA conversation, which is why 90% of the fucking EU Andes will always be like, why are these Americans always talking about race? I don't understand it. It's very weird. Instead, they should hate the Romani people, you know, the Roma people instead, like we do. Like, that's usually what the EU Andes say, unless they're Swedish, in which case, you know, they're like the most offended by the term cracker for some weird reason. A lot of the reactionary Swedes. It's like, why are you involving yourself in NA conversations like this? Yeah, Candace Owens spotted the UFC event where vaccinations are required. That's why I said she was at Madison Square Garden. So either she used a fake vaccination, card, which is illegal as fuck. The same content creators that insist Sweden is Swedistan now. Or she just straight up is lying about her vaccination status. One or the other. Okay, let's keep going though.
And I've been all around the world. I don't know. I think they should study me. They should study me.
They're afraid
Doesn't
of
like
you.
me. Yeah.
It's a scary thing, but it's afraid of you.
My husband had it though.
Yeah, but now your husband is now essentially immune. He's got a protection.
They won't even talk
They
about
won't
it.
give they won't give credit to people that had it that aren't going to catch it a second time. You know, it's a very strong form of immunity. So they're crazy.
Why are you hating from outside the club? EU, you can't even get in? Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm in America, baby. So same could be said to you, bitch.
Well, here's to go. Here, talk about corruption. I mean, you're a businessman. Imagine I make a product and then you mandate that every single person has to buy my product. And this is why people are wondering, you know, is there a little bit of corruption going on here at the top?
Well, this is worse because it's going into your system.
Right.
You know, so this isn't just a product. This is a product that's going.
Whenever people say you can't get reinfected or anything along those lines, like anything that you imply about like reinfection rates, I present to you Jair Bolsonaro, okay? He has gotten COVID like 14 times. Okay? My man has gotten, he has his like own version of COVID just in his own body. Okay? Don't act like you can't get reinfected. You definitely can get reinfected, dude. He's collecting him like Pokemon cards, dude. He's got the most amount of COVID. Yeah. He's just more COVID than man now.
Going into your system. And some people don't agree with it, and some people have religious problems, and they have a lot of other things.
You've always respected the religious.
I totally do, and I totally respect somebody saying we don't want to take it. And we have a massive, you know, we will soon have a massive amount of immunity, including the people that got it. But the mandates are killing our economy. You know, if you look about what's going on with our economy and jobs, where the jobs are so few right now, I mean, the numbers are terrible. Because a lot of people can't go to work. They don't want to go to work. They can't. They can't because people won't take them because of the mandate. No, the mandate's bad for a lot of
the
different
military.
reasons.
I mean, can you imagine where these are great individuals that
people
we
are
want
leaving.
defending us,
Yeah.
and they're leaving. We should
They're
never.
leaving.
I don't mean to be condescending, but do people really think getting the vax kept you from getting infected rather than help you fight it off? How does that even make sense? Yes, people did think that, which is understandable because some vaccines do offer that kind of protection to you. Okay? Some vaccines are specifically for that purpose. There was a lot of miscommunication. And in the alpha variant, actually, the alpha variant originally, like the regular Wuhan version, the original Pfizer, Moderna, even J&J to a certain degree, did offer you protection from getting the alpha variant. But the Delta variant, which, of course, mutated in an unvaccinated area, created breakthrough cases. So the new version was better than the old version. And then you could still catch COVID. But yes, the efficacy still, the strongest efficacy still was on the side of not getting the worst symptoms. That always was the case.
I feel like our country is being left defenseless.
Yeah, it's,
and that it's a scary,
it's
scary,
a very
scary
bad
thing.
thing.
Bro, it's so stupid. Like, whenever people talk about the military, I mean, I've said this a million times, but like, anytime people talk about the fucking military, it's like, shut up. You have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Holy shit, dude. They pump. First of all, when you're in the military, you eat MREs, okay? So that's like automatically, you are not allowed to ever ask questions about what the fuck is in a vaccine. But then also on top of that, you get hit with a cocktail anyway when you join the military. They line you up and they fucking jab you. That's before we, talk about all the other experimental drugs that they fucking give you, like shit that actually gives you cancer. Before we even talk about like burning tires outside of fucking forward operating bases that actually does give you lung cancer, but then the VA doesn't want to actually pay for your health care, so they'll fight you tooth and nail. It's before we talk about the fucking go juice that you're slamming, okay? Or even during Operation Desert Storm, and they gave you an anthrax vaccine that also was experimental and potentially, I mean, like experimental to the degree where like it was never used on the population. It's just so stupid. You're literally you're a boot, okay? When you're in the military, you are a tool. And the American government does not give a fuck about you. They will test, they will do nuclear testing on you, they will radiate your body, they will give you all different kinds of fucking psychotic vaccines that are fake. This is the first time, as a matter of fact, you're getting something that is like actually being used on the entirety of the American population. I was in Afghanistan in 2007 and American soldiers gave us kids MREs and it was the most disgusting shit ever. What the fuck? When you said I was in Afghanistan in 2007, I didn't think you were going to say as an Afghan child. I don't usually hear that. MREs are good as fuck, Lamau. You are out of your fucking mind, okay? MREs are fucking disgusting, okay? They are disgusting. Unless you're talking about the pizza one, that's kind of fine, I guess. There's like 3 fucking MREs that are okay. All the other ones are disgusting. To be fair, though, I have tried. Shouts out to Cleric. The MRE that I tried was, it was bad. It had gone bad already.
Now it's changing. I'll tell you, I've never seen anything like it. The last week or so, they're saying, all right, we're going to take the mandates off. It's very interesting because they're losing all of these incredible people. They're just not willing to do the work. Now,
comparing MREs to galley food in the Navy, they're definitely way better. The only fucking Navy food that we've seen, I've heard this as well, but the only Navy food that we've seen is like on their best night when they're making like pizza. I mean, it's automatically always fucking pizza is the best food you're going to get. There you go. What were they doing on that fucking ship when we watched that? They were eating like pizza and ice cream night or something. Anyway.
Now, you have to understand, I'm a big fan of the vaccine. I'm not going to give that up. That's a great achievement. That's millions and millions of lives I saved, okay? It's very interesting where Biden said anybody that lost that many lives should resign. Well, now he's lost more lives, so.
Oh, no, sorry. It was submarine food because you're stuck. I thought submarine food was good. But then again, you're fucking stuck for like 6 months without any contact whatsoever. So that's probably the reason why they have to fucking give you like decent food. Anyway, let's pull this back.
Go to work. They don't want to go to work. They can't. They can't because people won't take them because of the mandate. The mandate's bad for a lot of
the
different
military.
reasons.
I mean, can you imagine where these are great individuals that
people
we
are
want
leaving.
defending us, and they're leaving. We should never.
leaving.
I feel like our country is being left defenseless.
Yeah,
and that it's a scary,
It's a
scary,
very
scary
bad thing. Now it's changing. I'll tell you, I've never seen anything like it. The last week or so, they're saying, all right, we're going to take the mandates off. It's very interesting because they're losing all of these incredible people. They're just not willing to do the work. Now, you have to understand, I'm a big fan of the vaccine. I'm not going to give that up. That's a great achievement. That's Millions and millions of lives I saved, okay? You know, it's very interesting where Biden said anybody that lost that many lives should resign. Well, now he's lost more lives, so his statement was sort of an incredible statement.
Speaking of Joe Biden, who I think has been a gift to you in many ways, I thought, you know what, I was hard.
That is kind of true. Candace Owens is a dumbass, but Joe Biden has been kind of a gift to Donald Trump. His administration is so dog shit, dude. His current administration is so bad. Oh my God, the fucking ineptitude is off the charts. And the media complacency alongside that ineptitude makes it even worse because it makes Donald Trump look more serious and more real about all of his fucking, all of the anger and the resentment that the American people feel. It's great. Wonderful. I love working side by side with the most reactionary force in this country to basically hand deliver and gift wrap a second Trump term to the American population. It's awesome. Great.
For me, and I'm injecting myself here, but to see a good side. And now I actually think that a lot of people are now awake to a lot of the things that you ran on. That seemed crazy to them in the beginning.
Well, they're seeing that our policies were very good, that's for sure.
This is the toughest question I could possibly ask you. Tell me one good thing Joe Biden has done in office.
Well, the one good thing is that he showed how bad it is with this kind of a philosophy. Because we won the election, but if it was...
But like, the thing is, and this is why American politics is dog shit. It's just a fucking dog and pony show. It's just pure theater, right? Joe Biden, like reactionary conservatives getting mad at Joe Biden is hilarious because he has done every single thing that the Trump administration has done and then some. Okay? The only difference between the Joe Biden admin and the Trump admin is that, like, he's not out there on the bully pulpit being like, yeah, we got to make sure we got white immigration, Jack, not black immigration. Like, he's not doing that. But the same white nativist immigration policies are still in place. Okay? Using the exact same policies that the Trump administration put forward, by the way, and even fighting to maintain those white nativist immigration policies in the court system. Like that's what Joe Biden's prosecutors are doing at the moment. Okay? So there's that reality. And on the other hand, like you got nothing. You got nothing out of like police reform or anything like that. There is no domestic or foreign policy change. And the only thing that Joe Biden actually did follow through on was Trump's policy of Afghanistan evacuation. So if you're fucking complaining about Joe Biden, you're basically saying the TV man is not telling me things I want to hear, and you're not paying attention to the policies. Because the policies are the fucking same. It's so weird.
More standard where we actually took office, people would have been criticizing, why didn't you do this? Now when they look at the border, when they look at Afghanistan, when they look at all the horror shows of what's taken place, when they look at inflation's eating us alive, and they refuse to admit it. The only thing they have going is they have an unbelievable press. The press, no matter what they do, the press, you notice, doesn't talk about Afghanistan. I haven't heard any. We gave $85 billion, lost so.
Yeah, what happened to Afghanistan? Does anyone think about Afghanistan anymore? The only person I've seen talk about Afghanistan is Timothy Chalamet, who like is selling sexy hoodies or something to help Afghan women. Other than that, I haven't seen a single motherfucker who was like, oh, the women of Afghanistan are getting fucking brutalized and murdered by the Taliban. What happened to liberal media that was shitting all over Joe Biden? Just straight up fucking doing doo-doo on Joe Biden nonstop. What happened? Why'd they shut the fuck up about Afghanistan? What happened? I'm still pissed I got more money under Trump than Biden. That lives in my brain. Oh, yeah. And those checks had his name on them, too, baby. Right. I still kept mine. It's somewhere around here. I don't think I cashed it. Beautiful. Beautiful mail, handwritten mail that our glorious supreme leader sent me. Yeah. I think it does expire.
Soldiers, tremendously, a large number of very badly wounded soldiers, and all of the other things. Afghanistan, the most embarrassing single day, in my opinion, or week in our country's history. I don't think we've ever had an embarrassment. The press won't talk about it. They won't talk about it. They won't talk about the election either. The reason they won't talk about it is because they know they lost, and they don't want to bring it forward. A lot of cancel culture.
Oh, this is the other thing. The Afghan government's own assets have been fucking frozen since the Taliban took over. So now America is doing what America does best. Okay? Fuck up a country, give the country back to reactionary forces, and then punish the rest of the country by throwing crippling sanctions on them and saying, fuck yourself, go eat shit and die. Okay? And nobody gives a shit. Forgot to mention that. Literally on the news. Literally on the news is Al Jazeera, motherfucker. It's like saying, well, you know, mainstream media is covering this regularly and diligently because Hasanabi's broadcast talked about it briefly one time. Come the fuck on. Dude, there was wall-to-wall, round-the-clock coverage about Afghan women and their safety. Okay? There was round-the-clock coverage about how Joe Biden is doing the wrong thing. He really flubbed this pullout. He's really fucking up by pulling out of Afghanistan. What happened? I mean, let's look at something here. Google Trends. Okay? Take a look. Huh. That's wild, bro. What happened? That's crazy. Compare that to, I don't know, critical race theory or something. Oh, it was the biggest story. What happened, guys? Taliban. Huh. Huh. It's almost like everybody gets whipped up in a fucking frenzy over certain issues. I don't want to play with you anymore, USA Probably. State media is completely different, Jesus Christ. They might add you to Fortnite, lol. Wait, what? What do you mean? Here's more trends for the entire... Oh, for the... Yep. Here are the Google Trends in 2021. Look at that, dude. Look at that. Capitol, Trump, Biden, Jimmy. Vaccine has always been popping. Suez Canal for a little bit. DMX, RIP. Israel. Euro 2021. Copa America, Delta variant. Olympics, Afghanistan. Done. Hurricane Ida, Squid Game. Holy shit. Squid Game had like as much staying power, if not more, than Afghanistan did. Afghanistan fell off. Anyway. What happened? There was 13 service members that died. I thought we were... I thought we were gonna never forget about those 13 service members. We were gonna we're gonna pour beer for them every night. 13 beers on the table, right? What the fuck happened? Where the beers at? Oh my God. I just saw Fiona, I think. Fiona?
Is because of the election. They don't want people talking about the election of 2020 because they lost the election. They know they lost the election.
I love this. I love
this
that.
unselect committee on January 6th. You have an unselect committee of partisan hacks like Adam Schiff, Russia. Then it's a scam, and he just goes on to the next one. Found out to be one thing I'll say, John Durham did a good job in that, but I hope he goes a lot further. But he has the unselect committee. Think of it. All of this work, it turns out to be a scam. Our country doesn't talk about greatness anymore. All they want to do is catch people doing this, catch people doing that. It's a disgrace what's going on in the United States. They talk about the environment. They talk about nothing else. You know, China is opening up a coal plant. I'm not saying good or bad. A coal plant every week. And we're not allowed to do anything. We have to go by the wind, and the wind isn't powerful enough, and it's intermittent and many other problems.
I think most people understand that they're trying to destroy the country.
It's almost like they're trying to destroy.
Yeah, clearly. We're fighting people that actually want to see the destruction of America.
Well, it's hard to believe, but who would think that, right?
I think I mean, it's very clear. It's in our faces. They're not hiding it anymore. What they're putting in the school systems, getting rid of these great men in the military, men and women in the military. Hindsight is 2020.
Excuse me. You say that, and I used to hear it. I said,
no
who
way.
would do that? Who would do that? It's so obvious. Who wants to have open borders where jails and prisons of other countries are being busloaded into buses and trains and being sent into our country?
Releasing criminals into the streets.
They're releasing prisoners.
They're
releasing murderers, rapists, drug dealers into our country. And you say, who would do that? And they know it's happening, and they just let it happen. We built almost 500 miles of wall. Would have taken 3-4 weeks to finish, complete. And look, it's doing the job anyway because it's tiny sections. But you know what? Who would believe they don't want to finish the wall? Who would believe that? But prisoners being released into our country, and you talk about masks, you talk about mandates, you talk about all this stuff. You come through the southern border, you have no problem. And tremendous diseases coming through, long beyond COVID, coming through our southern border, and they don't want to do anything about it. And how often?
Wait, long beyond COVID? What the fuck does he mean? We got to stop immigration because of diseases is like a super antiquated, super old, but of course, very, I mean, it's just a classic fucking, a classic take. Just racist as fuck.
How often do you see the mainstream or the lamestream media talk about it? You never see it. They don't talk about the border. They don't talk about.
So
He said lamestream. Let's go, dude. My man is killing it, dude. That's hey, got him. Fucking got him. You got. Okay, mainstream or the lamestream. Believe me, they're lame.
I wouldn't even call it.
Well, a lot of them aren't watching.
Yeah, nobody's watching it. I wouldn't even call it mainstream.
That's
I mean, the
true.
views are really low right
now. How about
now.
lamestream?
Yeah, we could send a tweet or a parlor right now, and we could get more views in 5 seconds. So I don't even call it mainstream. But I do want to ask you, hindsight is 2020. Anything that looking back, you think, you know what, I got that one wrong, or I wish I had this knowledge and I could have done something different. You know, I mean, it's easy, obvious. It's hard.
Always. Yeah. By the way, always in any business.
The fucking giant, the Titan, parlor. The incredible website, parlor.
No matter what you do, no matter what your success, you always would do certain things a little bit differently or differently. The biggest, look, we had tremendous success. The border was the strongest it's ever been. The economy was the best in history, and I did it twice. I had to do it after. I had to rebuild it after our friends from China.
Wait, we got to interrupt this because this is one of his greats. You're right. This is one of my favorite Trump moments as well. It's so fucking good. He was the GOAT. He did it like nobody has ever done it. Straight up. This is one of those moments.
Well, that's very good. And you just have a good time. Are you still a believer in Santa? Because at 7 it's marginal, right?
Because at 7 it's marginal, right? Come on. You still a believer in Santa? What an awesome fucking thing to say, dude. Are you still a believer in Santa? Because at 7 it's marginal, right?
Well, you just enjoy yourself. Well, that's very good. And you just have a good time. Are you still a believer in Santa?
Joe Biden would never do that. Joe Biden would never fucking have the courage. Actually, just kidding. Who am I kidding? Joe Biden would absolutely do that. This is some Joe Biden ass shit. Which is why I'm a firm believer that you got to let Joe's freak flag fly. Okay? That is one thing that I think the Democratic Party or the operatives, whatever the fuck, could do to salvage the situation. If you want to improve his approval rating, you got to have that dude go out and fucking cut the malarkey and you know, go full Jack mode.
Either sent us or it came in from China. And they should pay reparations, by the way. They should pay. Even they can't afford to pay the world because there's probably $60 trillion to
Hey, everybody.
They should pay reparations. They should not be allowed to get away with this. And people don't talk about that anymore.
Reparations.
Either. But I would say the big thing would be certain people I would have used differently. I would have put different people in certain positions. If I had a choice, I don't have to go specifically, but I could give you names at a later date. But there'd be people, I had great people too, you know, rebuilding the military, all the things I did. We have great generals, but not the television generals. There were certain people that I would not have put in. I would have put somebody else.
Not that Marxist general, Milley. He's too woke. Not the woke general. He's gay. I love that. It's like conservatives own patriotism so fucking hard that like they will literally turn around and be like, I don't care how decorated of a general you are. You are woke. You are now gay. You are a Maoist. You're like, they literally would like, oh God, boomers are so wonderful. Anybody have the meme I'm talking about where they basically were, they were fucking putting like fingernails on Millie and saying that like he was, you know, feminine and gay, bye and like pink hair. They were yassifying Millie.
But at the time, I had spent 17 days of my life in Washington, D.C., but now I know it better than anybody. And I know the good. I know we have some great people. And I would say probably more than anything else, I would have made certain people, put certain people into positions that I didn't give them. I gave them some.
This is one of the many memes that were out there. Oh, it's so good. I heart CRT. What is this? We're so woke and Marxist even when dropping bombs? Oh yeah, this. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, I mean this is a classic meme. New Joe Rogan video calls out Nancy Pelosi. Oh, I'm gonna agree with him on this one for sure.
I took somebody, put them in a position, and I didn't like the job they did.
I think definitely, and perhaps some snakes around you as well.
We had some snakes, yeah. And look, you always do, no matter what business, whether it's politics or anything else, you always do. I had some very loyal people. I had some very disloyal people, very bad people. But, and I think this is true with companies. If you're running a big company, sometimes you make a decision to put somebody there, and it always happens. It's rare that you go through, you know, a long period of time and everybody's just perfect. but I know people that would have done great jobs in certain positions, and I didn't like the jobs that certain people did. And usually I fired them. And every time when you fire somebody, it's a big deal. But usually I fired them. Overall, we had great people.
Yeah. Well, I know that we don't have much time left, so I'm going to toss you a fun one. Alec Baldwin, is he going to get arrested?
I don't know. Look, he's been trouble from the
Wait, what? Why would he get arrested? What the fuck? Bro, this is, oh God, I love conservatives, man. They just like latch on. That's a fun one, by the way. What a segue. Like, here's a fun one. The top of the hour ad break. Here's a fun one. Manslaughter. You know, at the top of the hour, there's a 60-second ad break. Now, of course, if you want an ad-free broadcasting experience, if you want to have an uninterrupted broadcast experience, all you need to do is subscribe. You can subscribe for $5. You can subscribe, or you can get lucky and get gifted a sub from the likes of Rainbow Bun 623, for example, who gifted 5. Okay. Or if you can't get lucky, you make your own luck with a $5 subscription, or if you don't have $5, with a free one in the form of a Twitch Prime. That's right, folks. Here's the 1-minute ad break now.
day one. He did the imitation of me for.
Listen, I haven't banned you. I haven't banned your new account yet. Or maybe this is not your new account. Maybe this is your old account. Or maybe it's the same account and you just changed your name. Stop posting this. Okay? Isn't this the same syntax that used to fucking talk about like being a zoophile? And like fucking animals and shit? Like memeing about that stuff? How do you remember all this random stuff? I've talked about this before. I like literally I've lost important memories. I have lost important memories in my brain that used to be cherished so I can remember dumb shit like that. Okay?
Years. I thought he was terrible.
Imitate him.
Well, no, I thought it was just, yeah, that wouldn't be hard. I thought he did terrible. I thought he was terrible at it. They have other people that do much better, but he's always trouble. I mean, he takes a gun, he said he didn't pull the trigger, and then the experts get on and say it's not possible that that particular gun can, it doesn't work that way. In other words, it can't happen that it works where you don't pull the trigger and it just happens to go off, okay? I don't think that was a very good interview for him. I just say this.
Wow, he watched it. I didn't even watch that interview. Bro, he is such a media demon, dude. He loves media. He is the #1 fan of media, okay? He stands the media. It's just, it's wild. There's like, bro, just have fun. I mean,
Always trouble. He goes out to talk to the press. Nobody gets treated worse than me by the press, and I'm very hostile to them likewise. But I don't end up in fistfights with him on the street. I mean, there's something wrong. I think he's crazy. There's something crazy. And he pointed the gun. He still pointed the gun at this woman, and it happened to go off. And she wasn't even an actor, so it's not like at a scene where it went on during a scene. He just pointed a gun at her, and it went off. Did he do it on purpose? I don't know. I mean, you tell me.
He's not stable. He definitely is not
He's
stable.
Definitely not a stable person. He's a nut job, actually.
oh, dude. We wrongfully banned Syntax before because we thought he was that other person. Never mind. I don't think it's the person I said was a zoophile. It's not that person. We've literally banned him before thinking that it was that same person. Wrongfully banned. Sag? Don't say Sag, motherfucker. You're trying to get me to go to politically. I don't want to go to that fucking subreddit, okay?
I actually totally agree with that assessment. I can't thank you enough for sitting down with me. And I want to say to people back home, each time that I have interviewed President Trump, they have never told me that I am not allowed to ask him anything. He is completely unscripted. It's one of the things that fascinates me about him. They never say, don't go here, don't go there. What you see is exactly what you get. Not exactly like Joe Biden checking, oh, call on this guy.
It's just to interrupt your ending.
From the Washington
That's right.
Post.
That's right. Let's see.
Lisa.
And then, no, here's the worst part, though. They ask him the question, then he reads the answer from a teleprompter. I said, where did this stuff come from?
Thank you, Lisa. I think that it's Pasam. I mean, it's crazy.
It's a strange deal.
It's a strange deal. And people.
What? What did she just say?
That it's Pasam. I mean, it's crazy.
It's a strange deal.
It's a strange deal, and people needed to see it. And so I honestly say, in a weird way, I thank God for President Joe Biden because the rest of America was asleep, and I think they're awake. And I'm inspired to see the mothers getting involved, showing up. And I think
are these two married? No, dude, and they're not fucking. Okay.
Going to be a very different.
We have tremendous support now. I have more support now than I did before the election, and we had a lot of support. But it's so bad. Our country has never been so embarrassed or disgraced. We've never had a country like this. And when he does, in particular,
we've never had a country like this. Dude, I do miss Trump sometimes. When he says shit like that, just casually, we've never had a country like this. Our country is embarrassed. We've never had it be this embarrassed. The most embarrassing. It's just such a stupid thing to say. It's awesome.
Afghanistan, to a large extent, the borders. But when he does that horrible withdrawal, again, we want to withdraw, but with dignity and strength. When Putin and Xi, President Xi of China, and Kim Jong-un of North Korea, when they're watching, and Iran, when they're watching what happened during that short period of time, they lost respect for our country. They're all at the top of their game, and we have a leader that doesn't have a clue. It's a very bad time for our country.
And we've lost the moral high ground with these people.
We certainly have. We certainly have. You're right.
Putin sat down, and they were trying to say you're a bad guy, and he said,
when did America ever have the moral high ground? Like World War II? That's it?
Locked up people that are rotting in prison because of January 6th. And I said, this is bad.
That's right.
We've lost the moral high ground because of what this Department of Justice is doing.
And you haven't heard the beginning. They are now, every time we say anything, and they go big league. They go big league on what they do. And they just look at us and what about this, and that.
I've never seen it before.
And all you can do is sit there and say, well, I guess that's right. Let's get on to the next subject.
You're right. What can we say?
Pretty tough stuff. Thank you very much.
All right, guys, that was amazing. It really was such a wonderful opportunity for me to sit down and have this dialogue with President Trump. We are grateful to him and his entire team. It is so important that we continue to have these sorts of dialogues that are unfiltered and dialogues that are not prompted by a desire to make somebody look bad or to look good. Just the honest answer.
Yeah, you definitely weren't trying to make him look bad or look good. You literally were like, come on, don't say anything about the vaccine. It's going to make you look bad. Like, yeah, it's a... Definitely unbiased interview from Candace Owens, who's certainly a journalist.